Hello and welcome to Eat.Live.Escape. My name is Madeleine Grace and today I'm going to be taking you through all my favourite products to achieve a really beautiful, summery, fresh, lit from within glow using lots of cream products. Now, if cream makeup is something that you have been nervous to try in the past, like cream blush and bronzer, have no fear, I am here to hold your hand and take you through some tips and tricks that ensure that they just look beautiful and fresh and have you questioning, is that your skin or is it the makeup? Which is what we're after. And before jumping into this video, don't forget to give this video a like and let me know in the comments below what are some of your must-have makeup staples when it comes to getting a really beautiful lit from within glow. I hope you enjoy the video, guys, and let's get into it. To get this look started, I'm going to start with a really beautiful glowy primer. My primer of choice is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter for a Superstar Youth Glow. Can we talk about the name? Yes, please. Let's get this on the face. This is a really beautiful tinted primer. It comes in a bunch of colors, so whatever your skin type is, you'll be able to find a color for you. Really light tint, but what this does, not only does it help even out the skin tone, but it's also going to add this really lovely soft radiance to the skin. It really does give you that supermodel in a bottle glow, which I absolutely love. I'm just gonna put a little bit onto my cheeks. Because I do get oily, I do find that putting this all over the face can be a little bit intense. I just like to put it in the areas that I want that extra shine, just working it in. If you are a drier skin type, feel free to put this all over the skin. It's going to give you that really beautiful glow. However, if you do have a little bit more of an oily skin type, just stick to the outside perimeters or anywhere that you don't get as oily. For me, that's my cheeks and the outside perimeters of my face. And on the inner part of my face, I tend to like to go in with an oil controlling primer just to ensure that I have a really beautiful glowy look all day and not so much a sweaty look. Next up is foundation. The foundation that I have chosen to use today is the Chantecaille Future Skin Foundation. Now this foundation is incredible. It's an oil-free formula, gel consistency, so it's really nice and lightweight on the skin, especially if you're planning to wear this look throughout summer and you're wanting something really light and fresh. This is a phenomenal foundation. So this is a buildable coverage formula that allows you to really adjust the coverage to what you're after. This foundation also has light reflecting pigments in it, so it really eases the look of imperfections on the skin, but still giving you this really beautiful, radiant, fresh appearance. So it's going to be a perfect foundation for our lit from within look. Taking a flat kabuki brush, I'm just going to start using buffing motions to work this into the skin. These buffing motions are really going to sheer out the product just to begin with, so we just get an all over even radiance from this product. And in any areas that you do want to build up that coverage, it's just going to be a pressing motion. This is keeping the pigment where you placed it, so in turn it's going to build up that coverage for you. So next up is the concealer. The concealer that I'm using, it's probably no surprise, it's one of my favorites. It's the Bare Minerals Bare Skin Concealer. If you didn't know I love this concealer, hello. Welcome, I am Madeleine Grace, and I am a firm believer in the Bare Minerals Bare Skin Concealer. Why I love this concealer so much? It's infused with lilac plant stem cells. Now, lilac plant stem cells are absolutely phenomenal because they help with regular cell turnover on the skin. So this ensures that no matter where you put this concealer, whether it be under the eyes, on a breakout, it's going to ensure that the skin never looks dehydrated or dried out. It's going to keep the skin looking really nice and fresh, so it's really going to aid us in our juicy, fresh, lit from within skin. I like to be really precise with my concealing, so under the eyes, I really just focus it in the three main areas where I get darkness and discoloration under the eyes, and then anywhere else that I would just like to add a little bit of brightness. So usually that's right through the center of the face for me, because I am using a concealer that is a little bit brighter than my skin tone. And with concealer, I do tend to like to use my fingers to blend it in, and I'm just going to press the concealer in to keep the coverage where I placed it. And if you use two fingers, you get the job done twice as quickly. Now, if this was my usual kind of powder routine when I would go into my powder blush and bronzer, this would be the part that I powder. However, because we are going to be using cream products today, which is very exciting, I'm not going to set my face yet. You want to work with cream products first before you put powder on, because sometimes when you powder the skin and then try to go in with cream products, it just kind of lifts everything up, moves everything around, and it just turns into a bit of a disaster. And that's why people have a little bit of a bad kind of feeling when it comes to cream products. because they have been known in the past to lift foundation up. However, if you keep with the cream products first and then save your powder for last, you shouldn't have that issue. My personal favorite liquid bronzer when it comes to my glowy, fresh, radiant look is the NARS Liquid Laguna bronzer. This gives the most beautiful kind of tawny brown, very natural bronze look to the skin. It's liquid, so a little bit goes a very long way, and the more that you work it into the skin, the softer it gets. So that is kind of the one thing to remember with creams. Don't panic when you first see it on the skin. That's going to be the most intense the pigment's going to look, and the more that you press it into the skin, the softer it gets. So I just have 2 pumps of the Liquid Laguna on the back of my hand, and I'm going to be using the Mega Cosmetica complexion brush to work this in, taking a little bit of that product, dabbing a little bit onto the back of the hand. Very similar to how I would apply powder bronzer. I'm going to start working this onto the skin, but instead of back and forth motions, I'm just going to tap it on, finding my cheekbone and then working the product up. I'm just working in soft little circular motions. So you can see the more that you start working this in, the softer the product gets. So have no fear, it all turns out in the end. Taking whatever left over and taking a little bit onto the jaw, taking a little bit more up onto the forehead. You can see we're starting to get this really lovely dimension from the product. And then whatever's left over on my brush, I like to take it just across the nose. It adds a really lovely, natural sun-kissed look to the complexion. But not too much, otherwise that can look like a brown stripe across the nose. We just want it to look sun-kissed. And we're just going to repeat on the other side. Now, if you're worried about any areas that you might have put a little bit too much product on, don't worry. All you have to do is take your foundation brush with no extra product on it, and if you just bounce that over the areas that you feel like need a little extra blending, this is going to hide any indiscretions and ensure everything looks really nice and flawless. And we have the advantage of being able to do this because we haven't set our makeup with any powder. Next up, we are going into cream blush. Now, I am absolutely obsessed with this little quad from MAC. You have 4 really vibrant looking blushes in this palette, which they are, but when you put them onto the skin, they really diffuse out and give this really lovely, fresh, you've been out in the sun and you've just got this natural flush of colour on the cheek. It's beautiful. This quad is the Pro Face Palette Bright Blush Palette. Now, my personal favourite kind of combo from this palette, I like to mix these 2 shades here, so that slightly more orange shade and that really beautiful coral colour. I'm going to use that exact same brush, that Mega Cosmetica complexion brush. I'm going to mix between the 2, taking a little bit on the brush, always using your hand as a little bit of a palette just to take a little bit of that colour off. Starting a little bit further back on the cheek. Once again, pressing motions. Pressing motions are your friends when it comes to cream products. It really just sinks everything in and it makes it just look like your skin texture instead of anything sitting on top. It's beautiful. I like to start further back as that gives a really lovely lift to the face. Starting right at the apple, it can tend to sometimes drag the face down. Keeping the colour a little bit away from the nose is just going to ensure that it doesn't look red, it looks like an intentional flush. Now, I like a lot of blush, I love to have a bit of a flush moment, but you really can cater this to how much blush you like on the skin. And remember, if it gets a little intense, take your foundation brush, no extra product, and just dab over the edges. You can see from these products already how beautiful and glassy the skin is looking. But wait till we put the highlighter on. Now, this next step is completely optional. It's a little extra, but I just think it gives the most beautiful look. I am going to go into a blush topper before our next step, which is the highlighter. Now, the product that I love to use as a blush topper is by Westman Atelier, and it is the Super Loaded Tinted Highlighter, this one here. So it has this really beautiful kind of peachy undertone to it. You can wear this on its own, but I like to add a little bit of pigment first and then use this as a sheer topper over the top of a blush. It gives the skin the most incredible shine. So please, if you haven't tried this product, you definitely should. Once again, taking that same Mega Cosmetica brush, I'm just going to take a little bit of this product and just work it onto the cheek. You can instantly see that little bit of glow. It just takes the glow on the cheeks to the next level. And for the final liquid face product that we're going to be using today, going into highlighter, back to the brand Chantecaille, I am using their Face Liquid Lumiere in the shade Brilliance. It gives the most beautiful wet look to the skin, a gorgeous sheen, but there's no chunky glitter in it. It really just makes the skin look wet. I'm going to be applying this to the high points of my face, and I'm just going to use my finger. I swirl the product onto the back of the hand, and then using my finger, I'm just going to start pressing this product in. Really make sure with cream products that you tilt your head in different directions to make sure that you have it all blended in so there's no harsh lines you might accidentally leave behind. Taking a little bit on the bridge of the nose, a little on the cupid's bow, maybe just a little bit above the brow. Anywhere that you want to add a glow and add a little bit of sheen to the skin, this is your moment. Glow wherever you want to. I'm just a little bit cautious just because I am an oily skin type that I don't take it in too many places that I know I'm going to kind of produce an excess amount of oil throughout the day, because I'm going to get shiny there anyway. I don't need to add to the natural glow that is oil sebum. But let's all just take a moment to appreciate the glow that is Liquid Lumiere Brilliance. Oh, she does things to me. I love it. But I want to ensure that this glow that I have on the skin stays looking really nice and fresh and not oily. So I definitely need to add a little bit of setting powder to add some longevity to my makeup. I am going to be using the By Terry Hyaluronic Tinted Hydra Powder in the shade Rosy Light for this step. This is really going to ensure that this product stays in place. This powder is infused with hyaluronic acid, so if you are a little bit of a dry skin type, this is going to infuse hydration into the skin, but it's just going to take away some of the shininess in areas that looks a little bit kind of sweaty, and then ensure that the glow is everywhere that we want it, but it is very tailored. Taking a Real Techniques contour brush, I like to use a smaller bristled brush and just really nice and tapered, just to ensure I get this powder exactly where I want it. Just taking the powder that is in the lid, I'm swirling and then tapping off the excess. I'm just going to press this into areas that I want to just diminish the glow just a little bit and set my makeup down so it doesn't move throughout the day. You don't want to powder everywhere though. I know, especially if you are an oilier person, powdering everywhere really feels like a safety blanket just to ensure your makeup is going to last. But with this, we have used cream products, so if we start taking this powder everywhere, it's going to take away all the hard work that we've done. So just be really specific with your powdering. You can even powder underneath, because we are going to lock in this makeup, but not over powder. And pressing this powder in is just going to ensure that we aren't moving the product, but instead setting it in place. But you can see with this, we're still keeping that really beautiful glow that the skin has, but we have just taken away some of the shine just directly in that T-zone, just to ensure that the makeup is lasting all day long. Now I'm just going to be putting on a quick bit of eyeshadow and I'll come back to finish off the look. Okay, so I just finished off the rest of my makeup. If you are interested, I use the Too Faced Melted Chocolate Liquid Eyeshadow in the shade Amaretto, just all over the eyes to give a really lovely, just soft peachy wash. I then also just added a little bit of the Morphe eyeliner in the shade Date Night, just a really lovely warm tone brown, just to add definition to the eyes, with Bobbi Brown Smoky Eye Mascara on top. And then on the lips, I went in with the Pat McGrath lipstick in the shade Boudoir Rosé, which is just a really lovely pinky flush to the lips. But to ensure that this glowy look lasts all day long, I am just going to set my makeup with a little bit of setting spray. The setting spray I like to go in with is the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. I just find that having a long wear setting spray paired with a really beautiful glowy fresh makeup just ensures that it gives it extra longevity on the skin. So I like to do 4 sprays. So do a cross, just to make sure I get the T-zone area, and then an X to make sure I'm hitting those kind of perimeters of the face. Give yourself a fan. You deserve it. A little bit of a pamper moment. Wipe away any of that excess product that you have used your hand as a palette for. And that is the final glowy makeup look. And that is my tips and tricks and my favorite products on how to get a really beautiful lit from within glow. I hope you enjoyed today. Whilst you're here, don't forget to subscribe and check out the rest of the videos on the channel. And for more beauty, fashion, lifestyle, and travel, don't forget to head to Eat.Live.Escape.com. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.